Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the wild card playoffs haven't even started, and they're really putting the wild in wild card weekend. Hello, everybody. Christopher Mabry here, and welcome to the Die Hard Football Podcast, the podcast for diehard football fans. And it is playoff time in the NFL. 14 teams vying for a spot in the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, Nevada. But first, we have to get to the wild card playoff portion of the bracket. And with that, I have it right here, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, let's get started with the first matchup starting at 3:35 p.m. Central Time on NBC and Peacock. The Cleveland Browns taking on the Houston Texans down in Houston, where the national championship in college football was held about a week or two ago. For the Cleveland Browns, they had a very successful season, finished fifth in the AFC playoff bracket, second in the AFC North with a record of 11-5. As for the Houston Texans, they won their division in the AFC South, finished first in that division with a record of 10-7. Over on the Cleveland Browns side, the last playoff appearance was back in 2020 when Baker Mayfield was still the quarterback for the Browns. So it was a good year for them. They won their first playoff game in a while. However, they did manage to get to the divisional round and lost. So the record that year was 1-1. As for the Houston Texans, we can go back to 2019 for their last playoff appearance. And similar to the Cleveland Browns, they did lose in the divisional round of the playoffs. Both teams haven't been into the playoffs for a while. They're now both in it. It should be fun. This is also a Deshaun Watson game as he was drafted by the Houston Texans. And just a few years ago, with all the allegations going on off the field, he was traded to the Cleveland Browns. He started a few games the past few seasons, started majority of the games this year, then he got hurt, and he's been sidelined for the majority of the 2023 season. Now, with the help of him and now Joe Flacco, who's the Ravens quarterback many years ago, um, now looking for a playoff victory over Houston. Over on the Texans side of things, you have CJ Stroud, who was drafted this year in the NFL draft with their, number one pick, not overall pick, but their first pick in the draft. Looking probably like the offensive rookie of the year for the NFL. Obviously, one of the top rookie quarterbacks in the NFL this year, and it's going to be a fun little game for him. I think he's going to prevail in this game. I don't think the test is too big or too small for him, but we will have to see and find out. Good news, it is indoors. No snow conditions, although here in the state of Texas, we are supposed to have ice. That should be fun. But it's not like Buffalo, which we'll get to, uh, later on with a little bit of breaking news going on with that. I got Houston in this one. Hopefully that the Texans can make it to the divisional round of the playoffs. But Cleveland's a tough team, uh, tougher team than most years. So we'll just have to see in what happens there. Remember, 3:35 Central Time uh, for that game over on NBC. And now we get to the coldest game of the day and probably the fourth coldest game in NFL playoff history. The Miami Dolphins, a warm weather team, is going to Kansas City, Missouri to take on Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Right now, hours and hours before kickoff, it is about -1 degrees out there. Probably feels like a -13 degrees. They're showing the weather report right now. It is -1 degrees. Feels like -19 degrees. Kansas City has been a rocky team. I wouldn't say they're a stable team. Dolphins finished sixth in the AFC, while the Chiefs finished third in the AFC playoff bracket. The Kansas City Chiefs won their division with 11-6 record, while the Miami Dolphins finished second in the AFC division with an 11-6 record. This is the Tyreek Hill game. Tyreek Hill was originally part of the Miami Dolphins, and then he's like, I need more money. I want out of Kansas City. I'm not getting the ball much. And now he's with Miami. He's one of the fastest players on the Dolphins team and most likely in the NFL. Kansas City knows what they got in store for them today, but the Dolphins are winless in these frigid conditions. 0-4. Tua Tagovailoa is, going to have trouble. I got the Kansas City Chiefs winning in this game. Patrick Mahomes is going to move on to the divisional round of the NFL playoffs and the AFC side of things. That's how I think of it. It should be a fun game though. Blizzard conditions, cold conditions. But it makes me wonder why they didn't cancel this game or postpone this game instead or alongside it with this game coming into the breaking newsroom where the Buffalo Bills game for originally scheduled for tomorrow against the Pittsburgh Steelers has been moved to Monday at about 2:30 Central Time, I believe, or 3:30 Central Time, due to a very strong winter storm. Who knows how that game's going to turn out, if it'll be played, or if they have to move it to do another game or another stadium, another day, I should say. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'll have predictions for that game and the other playoff games coming up in the next playoff edition of the Die Hard Football Podcast. Enjoy your football weekend or your week. I'll see you guys in the next video.